Okay. So good morning once again. Today we will start new topic STO. What is STO? Stock Transport Order. In some cases they mention it as stock transfer order, but yes, it is stock transport order. So what is stock transport order? Before going to stock transport order, so in OTC cycle, what is OTC? Order to cash. Okay, in order to cash, what we do, we actually deliver the material from my plant to customer. Okay, in OTC plant, OTC cycle, the material movement is from my plant to customer. In the same way, in procurement cycle, we have already seen this cycle also, where we actually get the material from the vendor. Okay, we actually get the material from the vendor. In this case, the material movement is actually it is coming inside. It is coming from vendor to say my plant. Okay, OTC cycle, it is material is moving from my plant to customer, whereas in P2P cycle the material is coming inwards. Okay, the material is coming inwards. Now, this is the outward movement of the material and this is inward movement of the material. Now, just why are we discussing the movement? So, we have two scenarios where I have to send the stock out of my premises and scenario where I have to get the material inside my premises. Inside my premises means you can correlate it to plant. Okay. Now, let us imagine a situation. Just I am repeating. This is very important and at the same time this is a bit tricky. So pay attention. So, we have created two plants in Germany. One is plant 1, that is D001. Okay, maybe let me increase the font size. Okay. One plant is D001 and I have another plant in Germany, that is D002. So maybe we will take these two plants are at two different locations. Maybe we will take the example of Hyderabad and we will understand this. Okay, say one plant is there in LB Nagar. Okay, and another plant is there, suppose in Miapur. So both are in the same city but at different locations. Okay, this I am just giving you for your understanding. Suppose any customers who are nearby this vicinity, we are actually going to dispatch the material from this Miapur plant. So how can we default for this particular customer from this plant we need to do the dispatch? How can you actually default that one? How plan gets determined? Quickly guys, how plan gets determined?
CMIR.
CMIR, customer master.
Customer master, material master.
Wonderful, good. Wonderful, guys, wonderful. Okay, and material master. So, what we will do is all the customers who are nearby this vicinity, for all those customer masters, in their customer master, I'll maintain plant D002 so that whenever they place order, they'll get the stock from this particular plant. In the same way, all the customer nearby vicinity of LB Nagar, they will get the material from this plant. Now, let us say this in this plant, these two are manufacturing plants. Assume that we manufacture my material, that is LG Chemical, in both the plants. But because of some reason, this plant has got a requirement to dispatch certain materials to its customers, maybe on 5th of November. Okay? It has to do the dispatch of the material. Here date is not important, understand the concept. So this customer, this plant has got a requirement where it has to fulfill the requirement for the customers so that it can be able to deliver the material to the customers on 5th of November. But even if it starts manufacturing today, maybe because of replenishment late time, what we have seen in the material master. So to convert my raw material to finished product, at least it will take say 10 days. So in such cases, it doesn't make sense for me to even start manufacturing now because it will take 10 days, but the customer is expecting the delivery on 5th. So in that case, what we will do is, okay, there is an option which is given by SAP where you can move the material from one plant to another plant. Okay, there is an option SAP has given, okay, to move material from one plant to another plant. or in other words, there is an option which allow you to move the stock from one plant to another plant. So now just I will rephrase. So this process will allow you to transfer the stock. Okay, transfer the stock from this plant to this plant. Okay, so in OTC, the starting point is say plant and ending point is the customer. In procure to pay cycle, starting point is the vendor and ending point, receiving point is your plant. But here in this case, the starting point is one plant and the receiving point is another plant. In now just we will rephrase this one. So in this case, we call this as supplying plant and we call this as receiving plant. So is all about, okay, stock transfer order is all about, or stock transport order. So you can use these two words interchangeably. There is no hard and fast rule that you have to call this as transfer or transport. It doesn't matter. So understand the concept. So just as I said, go by the name. So what is STO? I am transferring stock. So where the transfer of stock is happening? Between two plants. Okay. Now, whenever we move the material between two plants, we call it as STO. And we have already configured these two plants belong to the same company code, right? These two plants belong to my company code D000. So whenever the two plants, okay, in which this transfer stock is happening, if they belong to the same company code, we call it as intra-company stock transport order. Okay, we call it as intra-company. What is intra-company? Within the company. So what is within the company here? The plants which are moving, the plants in which we are moving the stock, they belongs to the same company. Then we call it as intra-company stock transport order. Now let us imagine a situation. This is my German plant, and I have another plant which belongs to a different company code. So this belongs to Germany and this belongs to Canada. Now even here also I can move the stock. So stock transfer is all about moving the stock between the plants. But whether it is intra-company or in this scenario, we call the movement of this stock is called intercompany STO or cross-company STO. So basically, we have two types of STOs, stock transfers we can do. Okay, one is intra-company. When the plants involved in this stock transfer belongs to the same company code, we call it as intra-company. If these two plant belongs to two different company codes, we call it as inter-company or cross-company, whatever it is. So when I say STO, we are going to discuss both these. So in today's session, we'll talk about intra-company stock transport order. Okay, so we are going to talk about intra-company stock transport order today. Now, before that, let me show you the process from a layman's perspective. Then just we'll get into the SAP. First, understand the concept behind the process. Now, so we call this as supplying plant for our understanding, and this is my receiving plant. Okay, because the stock is moving here and this plant is receiving. So now the material movement, see in this case how the material movement is getting triggered. The material movement is getting triggered because you have created a sales order, and based on the sales order the material moves from your plant to the customer location. And what is the triggering point of material movement here? Okay, what is the triggering point for the material movement here? Purchase order, right? So you have to create a purchase order for the vendor, and so that the vendor uses the purchase order to the delivery to deliver the material to your plant. In the same way, stock transport order. Okay, stock transport STO process is an integration between mainly SD and MM. Why SDMM integration is there, I will explain you slowly. Okay, what is the integrational aspects of SD and MM, I will explain you. Now, the process from layman's understanding. So, for the goods movement to happen, we have to create a transaction document. Here, in this case, it is order, and in this case, it is PO. Now, what we will do is, this is the receiving plant and this is the supplying plant. So, my receiving plant will request material to the supplying plant. Okay, how it requests? It will request by creating a purchase order, because understand the concept again. So receiving plant want to purchase some material from the supplying plant. So whenever the receiving plant want to purchase, or because the initiation, the request initiation has happened from here, so that is why it has requested for a purchase. So which we create using a purchase order. Now using this purchase order, your supplying plant will do the delivery. Your supplying plant will do the delivery. And since since these two plants belongs to the same company code. Okay, since these two plants belong to the same company code, usually we don't bill uh, one plant won't bill to the other plant. So here just we create a dummy invoice. Okay, which usually what is the dummy invoice we have in SAP? What is the dummy invoice called? Is the
Perform invoice.
excellent. So right. I'll create a dummy invoice so that during the transport, if any of vigilance or any of the custom officers or custom agencies stops and verify the movement of the material, maybe you can show this invoice. Okay. Now, so basically you have three steps. One step, your receiving plant has to raise a request for the purchase, and your supplying plant, based on the purchase request, it will deliver, and then you will create a pro forma invoice. Okay. Now we have discussed so far. So STO you can do it in two parts. Okay, but mainly what is STO? STO means the stock transport orders. So STO is used whenever we wanted to move the or whenever we wanted to transfer the stock between plants. So that is the reason I most of the times in SAP the naming is couriered in such a beautiful way. By looking at the name itself, most of the times you can understand what is this. So what is STO? STO is all about transfer of stock. So where is the transfer of stock is happening between plants. So STO can be done in two ways. One is intra-company, the other one is inter-company. So or cross-company, whatever. Company is whenever both the plants belong to the same company code. Okay, whenever both the plants belong to same company code, we call it as intra-company, and inter-company when the plants belong to two different companies, we call it as inter-company. Okay, up to this is clear? Understood the concept? See, SAP we can check later. The basic fundamental is you need to have the conceptual understanding first. Any doubt on what is intercompany and
No,
what is
sir.
intercompany and
Yes.
what is stock transfer? Okay, up to this part is clear. Now, again, your intra-company or intercompany, okay, they can be done in two ways. Don't be boggled. It is very easy concept. I will explain. Okay, for time being, just remember we have two ways: one step and two step. Just this is step. Okay, I can do my intra-company in one step or two step. In the same way, my inter-company in one step and two step. Before understanding what is one step and two step, again let us take an example. Same example. Sorry, I'll take the same example. Take the same example. Just be with me, guys. This is very important. So from LB Nagar, if I am moving the stock, say for example, there is some 10 tons of material. Okay, we have created some 10 tons of PO. Okay, uh, so this receiving plant has created purchase requisition for 10 tons. So based on that, your supplying plant will issue the material. That means the stock is reduced here. Okay, the stock is reduced here. It doesn't mean that stock has to be immediately updated here, because from LB Nagar to Miapur it may take at least 2 days, 2 hours for me to move the stock, right? To move the stock, at least it will take 2 hours. Okay, so in some cases, okay, so what is we have one step. In some cases, the moment stock is reduced or the moment the stock is out of this plant, I will automatically update stock in this particular plant automatically. So in which scenarios you can do? Suppose I have this plant is in Amirpet and this plant is in SR Nagar. So it hardly takes for me some 10 minutes. Okay, so some 10 minutes. So that is the reason I don't want to do a separate step. Okay, I don't want to receive the stock separately, or I don't want to process or create a transaction to receiving a stock separately in this plant. So what I will do, the moment the stock is reduced in this plant, the same stock is updated in the receiving plant, or the moment the stock is reduced in the supplying plant, it automatically updates in the receiving plant. Here you have only one step is there. Okay, you have only one step is there. So the moment stock is reduced here, it automatically gets updated. We are going to test this, don't worry. Okay, so that is one step. But now let us imagine a scenario. You have one plant in Amirpet and you have another plant in, say, let us say, in Mumbai. So in Mumbai, which usually takes for you, let us assume you are transporting it by rail or truck. Usually it takes some 3-4 days. So in that case, what you will do is, when the material moves out of this plant, the stock in this plant is reduced, but it is not updated in the receiving plant immediately, because it is going to take some time for you to reach that stock to this particular receiving plant. So after 3 days, you have to manually receive the stock in the receiving plant. So here you have to do a manual activity. So here you have two steps. One step, the first step is reducing the stock in supplying plant, and the second step is receiving the stock manually in the receiving plant. So that is what we call it as two step. One step means the moment stock is reduced here, it is automatically updated here. You don't have to do any manual intervention. But in two step, the stock is reduced here, but you have to manually update here. Okay, just I will show you a picture that can give you a better understanding. Okay, so just we have seen an example of this is Amirpet plant and this is SR Nagar plant. Okay, so the moment stock is reduced in this plant, since it won't take much time, I automatically show the stock here. Okay, I will automatically show the stock here. But say your one plant is in Hyderabad and your another plant is in Mumbai. This is two step. So till that time the stock is received here, where is it? It is in transit. It is on the way. Transit is nothing but on the way to the receiving plant. Till the time it reaches the receiving plant, it will be in transit. Once the material reaches here, then you will manually receive it. Okay, so that is the additional step you are going to do. So that is the reason we call it as two step. Okay, in two steps we have in first transaction, you will move the stock out of this plant. That is the first transaction. And in second transaction, once you manually receive the stock here. Okay, so that is the second transaction. So that is the reason we call it as two steps, because we are going to do two steps here. But whereas in this case, the moment the stock is reduced here, it automatically updates here. It is only a single step. That's it. So now basically, let me summarize now. STO is all about moving the stock or transferring the stock between the plants. Okay, between the plants is called stock transport order or stock transfer order. So I can have intra-company STO or intercompany STO. Intra-company, if both the plants belonging to the same company code. Here I am moving from D001 to D002. Both are German plants. Okay, these two are German plants, so which belongs to the same company code. So this is called intra-company. Whereas this scenario, these two plants belongs to two different company codes. Two different company codes. Since two company codes are involved, we will call it as intercompany or cross company. Okay. So, but the concept is same. In both the cases, we are moving stock between the plants. Now, depending on how many company codes are involved, okay, well, then we can call it as intra-company or intercompany. Now, again, you can do STO in one step or two step. The same is here. The same is the case here. One step or two step. This you will get better understanding when we actually get into the configuration, and when I show you the result, you will have a better understanding. Trust me, you will understand it better. But till that time, and just be with me. Okay, we STO can be done in two ways: intra-company and intercompany. and both the STOs I can have one step and two step. Just remember this particular part. Okay. Now we will do the configuration now in SAP. Now we'll get into the SAP. Okay. SAP config for STO. Okay. So now just we'll do the configuration. Before that, you need to remember now. Okay. So we are using the same scenario. We are going to configure the same scenario. D001 German plant 1 would be supplying to the German plant 2. Okay, throughout our discussion, we'll call this as supplying plant. Okay, just remember these wordings. We call this as receiving plant. Okay, now this particular receiving plant request for purchase. So it will request for a purchase of for a particular material. Say this particular plant wants to buy some material A. Okay, this particular plants want to buy some material or get not exactly buy, request for transfer, stock transport. So this plant want to get this material from this plant. So what does it mean? When you create this material master, this material has to be available in both the plants. Are you getting the concept? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The first and foremost fundamental is the material has to be available in both the plants. Like if you want to test, so the material should be available in both the plants. Suppose I wanted to get an iPhone, maybe from Mandeep. If Mandeep has iPhone, then he can give to me. Okay, so that means if I wanted to purchase or if I wanted to get a material A from this plant should have this material created for this particular entity. So that is the reason. Make sure the material is available in both the plants. So I have created a material already. So this is the material. I will show you now. So I have created a material. I have taken the same naming convention. So even while creating material, just try to use naming convention in such a way. By looking at the name, you should understand, okay, what is the purpose for which we are creating this material. Okay, this is for LG company, and let us say this is a finished goods, and I have created this material for testing STO. Okay, maybe I may have to create 1, 2, 3 materials, different materials. And if you understand, this material is already created for plant D001. Okay, when you create this material, okay, you have to select what are the views you have to select. So when you create this material, you have to select even purchasing view. Okay, even purchasing view. Don't bother. You don't want text. Okay, you have to select purchasing view, and I have created this material for plant D001. So what does it mean? This material is already there in my supplying plant. Okay, so this is my material. Now I will create the same material in receiving plant. We call this as extending. So this particular material is already created here in one plant. Now I wanted to have the same material even in receiving plant. So how do you extend? You are not creating that material again, but you are extending the material which is already created. Okay, go to the same transaction, just like creating material master MM01. Now this is the material. Now I wanted to extend and maintain this. So what we are doing, this material is already created in plant 1. Now I wanted to create, this material is already there in plant 1. Now I wanted to extend the same material to be available in plant 2. That is what I am doing. So that is why I have mentioned here copy from. So this is what we call it as extending. Now just see. After entering this, press enter. So select the same views, don't bother about this much, and click on OK. Now copy from. So this material is already created for plant D001. So remember, this I have already created this material in D001. It is already created for this storage location. This is for my sales organization, and this is my distribution channel. You can see distribution channel. this is already created in this for this org elements. Now I wanted to extend, or I wanted to copy same material to plant 2 and storage location 2, and since these belong to the same company code, so the sales organization is same. Is it clear? So what I am doing now, I
Yes,
am
sir.
extending the material that is created in plant 1 to plant 2. I am not creating material as such. Material is already created for this combination. Now I am extending the same material for a different combination. Okay. Now just click OK. Okay. So instead of this, I'll just change. So whatever plant related parameters, because only plant is different, the remaining parameters are same. So just change whatever the plant related parameters. System will anyways prompt you. You have to select purchasing view. We will see what is the importance of purchasing. MRP1, these MRP views, we don't have anything specific related to STO, so just will not waste much time on this. So most important thing is, so if you observe this, now this material is getting created for or extended for plant D0022 to storage location D002. Good. Now, and this is important. We will even understand the benefit. So what is the meaning of this? If I maintain 2000, what is the meaning? What is the meaning now?
Selling price.
What is the price that we maintain in material master? This is
Cost
VPRS.
price.
This is VPRS.
VPRS.
Yeah,
VPRS.
yeah, cost. So how do you read this 2000? So for manufacturing this material, I'm just repeating one more last time. Okay, please pay attention. For manufacturing this material of 1 ton, okay, for manufacturing this material of 1 ton, I incur this much cost, this much 2000 euros. This is how you read the values in accounting. So how do you read? Just I'll repeat one more time. So this 2000 is nothing but the cost incurred for me to manufacture. So what is the quantity you are trying to manufacture? I'm trying to manufacture 1 ton. Okay, I'm trying to manufacture 1 ton of this material in this plant. So for that I incur 2000 euros. So this is how you read. Okay, this is how you read the accounting view values. Okay, so the cost of manufacturing of this material is 2000. Okay, so I'll save. Now what we have done, now just we have the same material is available here also. Okay, here also. So what is the table to check the materials at plant level? Okay, MARC. Yeah, MARC or MARD. Okay, what is the difference? RD is storage location and RC is for plant. So I'll go to table MARC, and if you enter this material number, just a minute, I'll copy this material number. If you execute, so you can see the same material is in plant 1 and in plant 2. Okay, and we have not posted any stock. Okay, remember that we have not posted any stock, and in VPRS I have maintained 1000 euros here. That means if I manufacture it in this plant, it costs me 1000 euros per manufacturing 1 ton, whereas if I manufacture here, it costs me 2000 euros. So intentionally I have taken different values. So just we'll understand what will happen if there is a difference of manufacturing cost. Even we'll understand that. Okay. So and what is the transaction to check the stock? MMB. MMB. What is the transaction to check the stock? MMB. So we have just only created the material, but we have not updated the stock. So in MMB, just if you check, this material does not have any stock in both the plants. Okay. Now just tomorrow we will see the configuration related stuff. So try to join tomorrow by 9:45. I mean 7:45 itself, because I wanted to take the remaining configuration in continuity. Okay, so we will do complete STO configuration in continuity. So try to attend tomorrow's session maybe by 7:45 itself. Okay, and we will take, if possible, we'll extend maybe 1.5 hour. Okay, but we'll try to see the configuration in a single stretch. Okay, so that's it from today. Any doubts on whatever we have discussed? So I have been repeating the same.
No, sir.
Don't go what we are going to do in SAP. That is later. First, understand the concept from layman's point of view. Okay, so once you have understood what is the concept behind this process, then you can think why we are doing these steps in SAP. Then it is easy for you to understand. Okay, so just I have been repeating the same. So never ever by heart anything, and don't even bother about theory. So understand the concept and explain in your own words. That is more than enough. So tomorrow we will see the complete configuration in a single stretch. Okay, so that's it from my side. Again, just we'll connect at same time 7:45, and we will do all the.
Yesterday you were duck.
Uh,
Last
n-
class you were.
uh,
Yesterday you shared something.
no, yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday I have shared Friday session. Yesterday,
No, Friday
unfortunately,
session you're talking about the material, right? The material.
P2P procurement cycle. This one. What is P2P cycle? What are the different transactions you have in P2P cycle? Like whenever you want to procure material from a vendor, okay, how you do? We know OTC cycle is order, delivery, and invoice. In the same way, we have P2P cycle where we create PO. Based on that PO, we receive material from the vendor, and once the material is received, we'll create a vendor invoice. These are the transactions, and we try to have an overview of what is a source list and what is info records, because this is necessary
So what
when
is source list? Like, so what do you mean by source list?
source list can give you who are all the list of vendors or who are all the different sources from which I can get this material.
How this is different between third party delivery? Third party also we are doing the same procurement, right?
See, here we are getting material for our plant from a vendor. We are getting raw material from a vendor so that I convert my raw material to finished product. But in third party, we are asking vendor to deliver it to the customer. It is going to the customer. But here the material is for our own consumption. I wanted to use that raw material. Suppose, just the example, I wanted to make, I'm into manufacturing of bricks. So that is the reason for manufacturing brick, I need sand. So I get that sand from a vendor. I'll buy the material from a vendor, sand from a vendor, and I'll use this sand and I'll manufacture bricks. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So that's it from my side. Again, tomorrow just uh, be prepared that we'll have a longer session so that we can discuss.
And can you also share this Excel sheet? Can you also share this Excel sheet?
Yeah, sure. I'll do it today. Yeah, I'll do it today. Yeah. Okay, guys. That's it from my end. We'll again just connect tomorrow and just be prepared. We'll have a longer session tomorrow. Yeah. All the best.
Okay,
Take care.
sir.
Take care. Yeah.
Thank you,
Bye.
sir.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.